Right, it is the top of the hour, and we are going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Erin Owens, and I'll be the moderator for this session titled From Search to Smart, Teaching Elementary Students to Navigate AI and Databases. Before we begin, we have a few housekeeping reminders. We do have a code of conduct that we will adhere to for this conference. I'm pasting the link into the chat. If you experience a problem related to conduct, please contact us at the email address that is there. Please be sure your microphone remains muted unless you are invited to unmute in order to ask a question or make a comment. You may also use the chat window and the Q&A feature to submit questions during the talk. Please be aware this session is being live streamed and recorded, and the recording will be shared. You can enable captions by clicking on the Show Captions button at the bottom of your screen. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our presenter. Dr. Lavoris Martin has over 25 years of experience in school, academic, and special libraries, and currently serves as an elementary school librarian in Arkansas. Please join me in welcoming our speaker.
Hello, everyone. Share my screen. Hopefully everyone can see my screen. Again, my is from search to smart, teaching elementary students to navigate AI and databases. And because AI is something that that's a part of everyday life, there's nothing we can't get around it. So I wanted to look at research to inform for K-5 is currently what I was doing at that time. So I looked at the AI and how we can teach our students to use AI responsibly at the elementary level. And so we're going to look at a little research here. And so let's look at why this matter now. Because it says that, we have more than 50% of our students, as well as teachers, that are using some form of AI. A lot of times we think of AI, we look at AI, we really don't think of it as AI, but we're using AI on a daily basis. So there's at least 54% of students report using AI. This was in 2025 and it's up at least more than 15 points from 2 years ago. So we know that that's something being used on a daily basis. Then for ELA in math and science, the teachers are using AI, and that was reported at least 53% of them. So, and then as well as in using AI, as well as 43% of U.S. district still like guidelines for using AI in the classroom. Your teachers are using, your students is using it. And I always say it's not going anywhere. Why not embrace it and find ways to use it in the classroom in a ethical, productive way. So adopting is outpacing instructions. Elementary classroom need an explicit plan, not a default policy. So we're going to get the shift from search to smart. If you look at, we always have used databases, and as librarians, we know using databases, You have your Boolean operators and your keywords. That's how we do most of our search. Then you got curated, we curated verified results. Then cite by ULR, author or date. And then the skill that this is inquiry refinement. Then when you look at the smart, we got generative AI, where we're using chatbots to and it's a natural language. Also, some of the database use natural language, but prompts. But it uses the natural language prompt. It's synthesized. Often the information you get is unverified. So it's in you may get facts that are not so in sources that are made up. And a lot of times you may and then so the skill here is prompt plus verified literacy. So moving from search to AI, we still need those two things hand in hand. So the students need to be able to know, to be able not just to be able to type in a prompt. It's more about than typing in a prompt. The students need to be able to understand how AI works. They also need to be able to ask questions, how they answer the questions that it give you when you type your prompt in for a question. They need to know how to recognize bias and how to use AI as a thinking partner instead of a thinking replacement. So these four components, to understand, evaluate, use, and adapt, are the foundation of AI literacy, and they are the foundation of information literacy. What do we mean by AI literacy? AI literacy is a set of foundational knowledge, skills, and competencies that enable individual to understand how AI works, critically evaluate AI systems and their outputs, and use it responsibly, ethically, efficiently as a human-centered tool for learning, work, and civic life. So, as I was saying, you need to understand how AI senses, learns, and predict. Then you need to think about how it evaluates the question that is put out, the sources that it's coming from, and the bias that it may be coming from. We use AI to apply AI ethically as a thinking partner, as I said, and not a replacement partner. And then look at adopting, keep learning as the tools evolved. So that means it's an ongoing process. So these ideas can be um, introduced at the elementary grade level using age appropriate activities. As a librarian, we already teach many of these skills already. So looking at the AI K-12, they have 5 big ideas in K-12 that we should look at when we're using AI and when we thinking about our guidelines for AI, when we teaching AI. We need to look at perception. And we know computers use sensors, like our sensors that we have sensors that we use when we think about knowledge. Representation and reasoning. Computer build models to think about what they sense. Then learning. Computers learn from examples, not from being told rules. As we can learn from, rules, but computers don't. It's a natural interaction. Talking with AI takes practice. Clarity matters. And then you got your societal impact. AI affect people's fairness, ethic, belonging in every lesson. Excuse me. Notice, I want you to look at, you notice how, let's go to the next one. Then you have the American, the Library Association here, the library. They have, these are standards that we use every day as librarians. And they align with the AI. Right now, you got think, create, share, and grow. Those are the standards that they basically focus on. And think, you say, is inquiry with curiosity, recall prior knowledge to evaluate new sources. When we create, we generate products that show new understanding from credible inputs. Then we share, we curate, and we cite sources, and we communicate our findings responsibly. And then the next one is grow. Reflect on the research process, refine future researches. Research, refine future searches. So, continue with standards. You have your ISTIC standards. These are your technology standards. And these are already AI ready students, pillars for AI ready students. So, we talked about empower learning. We empower learners. Students get set goals, and use AI to iterate on their work. And then we digital citizenship. Students make safe, legal, ethical choices in an AI world. So then you got your knowledge. Student evaluate AI outputs for accuracy and bias. Then you got your community communication, where students use AI to clarify, illustrate, and share their ideas. So these are the standards that are being that used when you think about from search to smart. Some of the same standards that we're using in our everyday information literacy when we look at teaching students to using databases and AI, it's the same concepts that we're using. We're just expanding it with AI. Then you got your computational thinker. Student break problems into steps, and AI can help them solve problems. You got the problem, you can set the problem up, use AI to help you, not to replace your thinking, your critical thinking, and your problem solving. And then we look at AI versus this. Just have your input, output, and for. And when you using that, you work, as I said, you use your Boolean operation. The generative AI use natural language, natural language.
Lavoris, you seem to be cutting in and out on my side. I'm not sure if it's my connection or your connection.
My internet just came up, said something about unstable,
Okay,
but
yeah,
for
you might want to try
reason,
turning off, you might want to try turning off your video, and then it can prioritize the audio, so the audio will maybe more clear.
okay.
Thank you.
How do I turn? Hold on. There we go. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Hopefully that's better.
Yeah, that sounds better already. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Then strength for database and research and search. We're looking at accuracy and traceability. I mean, we can see how accurate it is. We can verify. We can go back and trace down that article. Whereas when you're using AI, you're looking at speed, scaffolding, and explanation. which is going to, and sometimes we're looking for quicker. But it's still important when you look at the two to side by side. The risk, you can miss inquiries if you turn, you're not using AI. And then also, but when you look at AI, there's a possibility, always a possibility, that the information may not be completely factual. And so for best to use databases for research, evidence, and citing. For generative AI is when you're doing your research for brainstorming, summarizing, and paraphrasing your information. Okay. And then 15 minutes in. So we're looking at database literacy. We look at search skill. And I looked at, you got your K2, your 3, 4, and your 5, your 5th graders. Because I'm looking at K for K. Oh, Lord. So this is more into, classroom. So you can use for picture driven discovery, where you got safe portals where you let the students use, and a lot of things that they use in school, especially you got you can use Epic, AR, a lot of different platforms for practicing. You practice picking 1 to 2 keywords from a question, and they do their search. Then for 3rd and 4th grade, you can do keyword to query, where you add a strip, a question to nouns, to try synonyms, recognize subject filters, and reading levels. So, and then your source triangulation, where you get to older students, you cross-check 2 databases. This is an example. You cross-check 2 databases. Note author, dates, and publication. Flag missing citation. So those are some things that you can do when you're teaching your students to use AI in databases. Anchored habits. Librarians still teach evaluation, because like I said, that's the first thing we talked about. A credit, the reliable accuracy. We still look at all of these things when using AI. So all those things still apply when using AI. None of what we do already, what we do goes out the window. It still applies to AI. So we still have to keep those things in consideration when we're doing teaching the kids to use the databases and AI, because the ideal is they teach them how to use the databases and use them correctly, where because we're in an AI society, so they'll know the difference and how to use the database, and then compare that information so they'll know they can make responsible decisions when using data, when defining data and doing research. And as we say, these are lifelong learning things that we always say that they use throughout life. So when we go to smart skills, what K-12 student need, when you look at K2, AI is a tool, not a person. And so we have to remember that. So we can compare human senses to sensors, practice asking a smart speaker and reflecting on his answer, the answer that you get, reflect on it. And then 3, 4, we have our prompt. Then we check. We can teach a simple frame. We do role plus task plus audience. Always verify against a trusted source. So when we teaching them to use the databases and the AI, are you using the database where you get more smarter searches when you know how to use the actual databases, and then use AI with that in order to look at your sources, verify your sources. And then for older grade, for smart skills, you look at bias, the data, and fairness for using data. So at this point, what you can do, you can discuss training data, why AI get things wrong, and who is left out of the data. So at this particular point, with older students, what you're doing, you can talk about AI, what AI does, and then so you're looking at how it really works, and why sometimes it may get it wrong. So, and then so the student has that knowledge where they can be able to go and you can use that data to better find better searches for what you're doing. And so and then so you can look at who's left out. Because like a lot of time when you're doing you do your search, you use your database to find some information. Then you do the same search using AI. Then you can compare those two data, and then you can look at compare to what this article gave you about if you're doing say I'm gonna say you're doing a history project and you're doing a search on one specific person. So you take that particular data from this article, and then you take what you have from your AI response, and you can compare those two data, and you can actually look at what you have from the database article and what AI give you, and compare what was said. If the facts are true, based on what you have over here from the verified source to the AI source, and then you can look at what was said here that was not said in the AI data. So, and that gives them a way to practice those skills, and they can look at the bias of the data, the bias or the fairness of the data, as well as, they can check their source and verify the source, a trusted source against an AI source. So this is a prompt where we're teaching literacy for young learners, where I was saying that you take role plus task plus the audience. So the role, you could say, pretend that you are, and then task, you can help me. And so you give them the task, and then your audience, it depends on your grade. So here's my example. I say, pretend you are a friendly librarian, and you asking them, help me find at least 5 facts about pandas for a third grader. So you can look at it by grade level. So now what sources are they going to use? So now you coach students to, after you gave them, so they're looking for sources, and they have to find 5 facts on pandas. So they got it. You ask questions, follow-up questions, refine. Speak natural language. You can ask full questions, not just keywords for what you're looking for. So you can say something like, I need facts about a panda bear. Actually, you can say, can you give me 5 facts about a panda bear? Now you can do that same search in the database as well as in AI. And you can look at the facts that you get, because it's always verify with a trusted source. So you can do AI first if you like to, and say, give me 5 facts about panda bear. And then you can go to the database and do the same search and see, compare what you have. So you got your trusted source, you have your AI source, and you can verify this information correct or not. So, and I would say, we say avoid sharing personal information. That's always a key when they're doing searches. There has been, even when we was doing information, when we were just saying information literacy, digital citizenship, it's the same with AI. You always tell them, never give too much information. And then I also say, never paste their full assignment into AI or whatever you're doing. You never paste a full assignment. And this is next thing, critical evaluation. Evaluation of any source is very important. And so this was some research in 2023. It found that people's identify AI generated writing only about 50% of the time. So that's important to remember. It's not always identified. And there's some time where information is identified as AI generated information, writing when it's not. So I always ask you, read it twice. Read it twice. Ask yourself, does this sound too neat? Does it match what I already know? So you have to question yourself as you're going along. And then when you find the source, like most of the time when you generate some AI, it may have a source, it may not. But you can ask it for the source that it come from. Then you can go back and verify. That's why I say if there is none, pause, go back to AI and say, where did you find, where did this source come from? Where did this information come from? And it will give you a citation. And then you can take your time and you can click on the citation that it give you and verify if the information that was given in your your response and that source actually match. And if not, that means you have to find a new source. Cross check. Always cross check. Verifying a kid's safe database or with a librarian. Your librarian can always help you. See, the database, using the database, AI does not replace your librarian. And then what you do, flag and fix. Tell AI what's wrong, as it to try again with a source. So when you get it, you can always ask them, try again. This is not correct. This source, I was not able to find this source, because it will make up sources. So I said, try this week, which I know school is out now. If you're in grade school, we're out unless you have the extended school year. But this is a classroom activity that works, that you can try. You can, like AI or not, show 3 short paragraphs, student vote on which ones are AI, and explain their reasoning. Simple, easy. Or you can do the hallucination hunt, where you give student an AI answer that includes one made up fact, and what they have to do, they have to go and find and verify that fact. They have to find it and verify it. Say once they find it, they have to tell that if this fact is made up. So that means they're gonna look at multiple sources, and you guide them on where to where to go, how to use the database to find that information. Okay. Also, I database detected. Same question to AI and the Go Pebble if you never used it before, try it sometime. Then you compare answers, record which source they trust and why. So it makes them they're using the database, they're using AI, but they're still using their other skills, their critical thinking skills, their reasoning, their thinking. So it's not just that they, okay, I'm gonna pull this from AI and I'm gonna pull this from a database. And so now you got to compare, and you can't just tell me why you chose this or why you chose this one, why you trust this source, why you don't trust. You can't just tell me this is what I have. You got to tell me why. So it makes them go beyond just finding the data, the information. It makes them think about the data, analyze the data, evaluate the data. And that's really what you want to get done. And once they see, now I'm using AI and I'm using the databases, but I know how to compare the sources, and I know if my facts are true or not true. And if they're not true, I know how to go back and find the answer that I need, the information that I need. So, and then the next one is Safari, the sensor Safari. You walk through the room, find the sensors. You got, like cameras, lights, mics. Then you map them to human senses on a chart paper. So this is a K2. So these are the younger kids. So you have your paper or your whiteboard, and you map it out for them. And so here's a quick sample lesson. And it's short and it's quick, but it gives you what you need to do. Search or smart is what it's called. It's either search or smart. The objective is really the students to choose the right tool. They either choose database or AI for a research task. And they justify their choice. Again, going beyond just finding an answer. So the first thing you do, you got your hook. You show two answers, and then you search the question two answers. Why do leaves change color? One from a database, one from AI. And then the lesson you introduce AI versus your database table. Model one thing aloud. Then you practice. You pair them up. They investigate 3 prompts and record which tool they chose. So here they are. Which tool did you choose? Did you use just database or did you use AI? So did you use multiple tools or you only use one tool? And it doesn't have to be a long drawn out answer. Like I say, it could be just one line reason. But they have to give a reason. They can't just not. And then kids love to share. Share and reflect. And you can, this way you create your classroom anchor chart with your kid. When do we search? When do we go smart? So you create your chart. When do we search? When do we go smart? And you let the kids ask the question. You ask the question, let them give you answers. So share, reflect. Getting started. It don't have to be that hard. Start one at a time. You can do one lesson, one thing, implement one lesson at a time. Mind one, you audit what you're already doing, and then you align. Map current tools, crosswalk to your whatever standards that you're using. Because like in my state, we have the ISTE standards, we have the American the library standards and the K-12 standard. Plus, we also have media library media specialist standards that we use. And so not only do we map those to those standards, but we also map them to our ELA standards. So that's the first thing you do. You audit what are you using, what tools you're using, what database you have. And because like in my state, we have databases that are free to the students, and for the state of Arkansas, it's sponsored through the state library, the Arkansas State Library. That and it has databases for K from college K-12. So we're able to actually use databases to teach kids how to use the database. And as I was saying, these are skills they can use as they go on to middle school, high school, as well as college. And then so do a pilot, one grade at a time. You can co-teach a lesson with teachers. You may already be doing that. Then you capture your student works, your examples. Then month 3, build a shared policy, acceptable use, parent letter, hallucination protocol. Then by 4 months, scale and coach. So you make it bigger, grade level PD, embedded prompts and research units. So we are uniquely positioned to lead this work. Information evaluation is the through line. So we are in position as librarians to lead this work and be a active part. And a lot of it we do already. So we just have to make a choice to really collaborate a little bit more with our teachers. And a lot of time I know sometimes it's hard to good collaboration. But just like I said, just start with one grade. You don't have to try to do them all. Just find you 1 or 2 teachers that you can work with and go from there. So these are my resources, all my key reference and resources. I want to thank you. And I said, let's give every elementary learner the skills to be both careful searchers and smart citizens of AI. So at this time, this is where I'm at. That's the end of my presentation. Again, like I say, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity and have any questions now for questions, Erin. Thank you,
Yes,
Erin.
thank you so much. Absolutely, we're open for questions. Folks, feel free to use the chat box or the Q&A box. Um, and I have to say, I am not an elementary school librarian, but I am the parent of an elementary school child.
Okay.
And even I got some good stuff out of that to think about how I
Yes, ma'am.
talk to my kiddo and help my kiddo learn about AI. So that was great.
Yes, ma'am.
You're also welcome to raise your hand. The React button on your toolbar, I think it's the React button, should have a raise hand option.
I tried to slow down a little bit because sometimes I tend to go a little fast.
That's okay. It's better than running up against the end and realizing that you've got to cut 10 minutes of content. So, all right, folks, if you've got any questions, please feel free to pop those in the Q&A box. Otherwise, you are welcome to exit when you're ready. And thank you so much for attending. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the Gale conference.
Right. Thank you again, Erin.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's see here. Leanne says, lots of college freshmen where I am have not been taught about AI, and so many don't even have libraries in their schools, much less librarians. Your example is grades 3 through 5, but it could be used as part of a college library class. Yeah,
Mhm. Yes, it can be scaled up for adapted for any
yeah,
grade level. Yes,
absolutely. Great
and it's a
observation.
yes, and that's good observation. And a lot of colleges and stuff hadn't really. A lot of those are because uh, they trying to ban AI completely, but you can't ban AI because it's a part. Because it's only different because when you think about it, as librarians, you've been using AI all the time, but then they was called machine learning, computer learning, cloud computing, but then which is still artificial intelligence. That's what it is. Our integrated library system. when we came up with the discovery system, AI. So, so you can't ban it. So you might as well think of ways that you can actually, if you teach them how to use it responsibly and ethically, that's the main thing, and not try to tell them not to use it. You show them how to use it.
Yeah, I agree. Holly's saying she's thinking about how to offer such workshops at a public library. Absolutely.
That would be
Um,
good too.
and then Leanne asks whether there's a link to the slides.
No, I have to upload them, I think.
All right, not a problem. We will, yeah, we will be inviting all presenters to share their slides for the archive after the event. So, Leanne, please do check into our archive later for those.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this session up. Have a great rest of your week.